Welcome here to the semifinals at the 2015 National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. I'm Matty Marshall alongside Kevin Catfish Arcia, and right now we are about to watch the Penn State Nittany Lions take on the Texas A&M Aggies. So welcome back. Hope you guys joined us yesterday. Lots of crazy paintball here in the college championships.
Tons
Catfish.
of crazy paintball.
And you know what we started to see though is that this field layout, which is kind of a difficult field layout to master.
It's a lot open.
A lot of open spaces, gunfight heavy field. But we started to see some of these better teams really figure out what worked, what didn't, and also start to use a little bit more aggression.
Definitely. A lot of the better teams started to adjust a lot better, you know, on the second day, knowing exactly what lanes they need to shoot, what lanes they need to lock down as well. So
Texas A&M on the bottom, Penn State on the top. Penn State on the left, A&M on the right.
Two nifty Lions coming off the field here. One of the Aggies walking up as well. Looking at we got a 4-on-3 so far.
Yeah, so it looks like Zach Johnson taking the early walk off that D side, one of their best players, and also Brennan comes off. So, oh man, it's not looking good for Penn State right now.
Got a 3-on-2, and Aggies have at the red spot here in the Snake 50.
Yeah, Callan in here, Snake 50. And then right now on your screen, you're looking at the D side. There's Callan trying to work out the last couple players left alive for Penn State.
And then we got the Lions into the Dorito. Looks like the Lions are going to need to lock it down here.
Well, they're definitely not crossing it up.
No, not at all. Doritos focused down the wire here.
But there's only a slight advantage for the Aggies right now. They only have one extra player. It's 3-on-2. So all Penn State needs to do is just shoot one body here. And Callan is really trying to work here out of the Snake.
He's trying to get that crossfield shot on the D side there.
Yeah, he doesn't have a really good shot from that portion of the Snake crossfield where the Penn State player is on the D side.
Well, he'd like to scoot back more, and unfortunately, they got a nifty line back there, keeping him from going back in the Snake a little bit, getting a better shot on the line across the field.
Yeah, tense moments here in this first point. Aggies trying to work that advantage. Not making any mistakes. They're playing tight, though.
Yeah, real tight. I mean, we saw a lot of sloppy plays yesterday, and all the teams that made it to the dance today seem to be playing a lot tighter. We got an Aggie here making his way up the middle here, trying to get that shot on the D side.
Yeah, smart move, though.
Blocking out the Penn player out in front of him.
Strachan in the center. He's trying to work both sides of the field. Now he's on the D side. Now he's going to actually go towards that side. First he came towards the Snake side in that center, but then now trying to isolate the Thorn in the Aggie side, and they're able to take him out. So now there's just one player left alive for Penn State.
Here comes the pain train.
And he does a desperation run, running and gunning out to the back corner bunker. Snake side, he shoots Callan.
Wow.
He's still alive.
No, man.
And I think he got another one. I think it's a one-on-one.
Oh, man.
No, actually, I think he might have shot him off. No, it is a one-on-one, yeah. And again, Texas A&M, they only have 6 players.
That's right. Been rolling with 6 all week, man.
Yeah, Strachan, last player left alive, I think, still. Wow, so what a great job by Penn State. I'm not sure who this is back in this back corner bunker, but he definitely did a good job. He shot out Callan, and then
shot the Snake, shot out player making his move up to the center A.
So maybe Penn State can pull off what was a 2-on-3 low body situation, now a 1-on-1.
About to be a 4-minute point here. It's a long first point. Oh.
I'm wondering if the Penn State player has any paint left. Yeah, I don't think he does. Yeah, so
this is Gunter. It looks like we have Gunter here.
Yeah, it is Gunter. So Gunter looks like he's dry. Because you can see that the pack on his back,
totally empty.
All those flaps empty, which is why he hasn't really engaged much. And also, all they have to do is get the flag, but they're all the way on Penn State side of the field. And this is a tough spot to play a one-on-one with no paint down here on the Snake side. Not a lot of bunkers you can just hopscotch down. You can hear the coach is screaming that he's low on paint.
You gotta love that. How awesome is that when you're the guy without paint and you just hear the coach yelling to his player?
It's not awesome at all.
He has no paint. Dang it, he saw my flaps.
Yeah, so there is the pack. I think there's one pod left. So it looks like Strachan has one pod left, and Gunter has none. So that's the situation right now. So Gunter...
It's going to be a 10-minute point here, man.
And also, I'm wondering how much paint that Gunter actually has in his hopper, because he doesn't have any on his back, whereas Strachan has a pod on his back. But, you know, in that hopper, those hoppers carry around 200 paintballs, a little bit more depending on which version you have.
He has to
maybe
have
240.
something in his hopper.
But he hasn't shot his gun once, which is either a really smart play, because, you know, they're really far away from each other right now. They're not very close, and, you know, when you're trying to get that shot cross field, I mean, yes, you can obviously make that shot, but if you only have, you know, maybe 10, 20 paintballs left, you got to be really careful. So this is already, I think, the longest point that we've seen so far in this tournament.
Well, he's not looking to the ground for paint, so he might have one or two.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good point. He hasn't tried to pick up any paintballs off the ground, which means, okay, he's got a few.
Yeah, he might have one or two in there jiggling around. Coming in the
Strachan
4.5 now.
I mean, eventually he's going to have to come back here towards the flag. I mean, he's in a little bit better field position here because he has all those big bunkers to work with on that side. And he's on his feet. He has all those big bunkers to work with. Poor Gunter over here is
just
in one
marinating.
of the... He's
marinating.
He's in one of the smallest bunkers, and also... it's when you're in a one-on-one situation, you want to kind of avoid the snake if possible. It's tough to play a one-on-one because, you know, in a one-on-one, the biggest key is you don't want to lose that guy. Yeah. You don't want to lose your opponent, because he makes a move, you didn't pick him up, he's going to be able to get that drop on you. So the biggest thing is keep your eyes downfield. And, you know, the snake, like, that's a great position if you're playing 5-on-5, but not so great when it's one-on-one.
Well, another advantage I think that guy Gunter has is he has his coach right there whispering in his ears, you know.
Well, another situation, okay, now.
Oh, we got a little bit of movement. All right.
Well, now Strachan makes his move back here towards the center. So he's smartly trying to make his way towards the flag, because another situation could go down as, you know, we could see we could see a 10-minute point and a no point too.
That
would be a first.
Intense, yeah. Oh, he's going back to where he started.
If he had already made through that gap, because he doesn't have the flag, so he's either going to have to shoot Gunter out, or make his way towards that flag. And if he knows he's low on paint, I mean, the smarter move would be at least come, grab the flag. Okay, he's just going to say, forget that, and push all the way forward and try to move on Gunter's side.
Oh, man.
But still, without the flag, it's not like he can go hang. He doesn't have a flag to hang. So he's going to have to shoot Gunter out and then come all the way back and get the flag and then run back in.
Man, this is intense.
Well, yeah, it is tense moments. 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go here in the longest point that we've seen so far at the tournament here. We're in the semifinals.
Or no point.
At the NCPA championships. These two teams fighting to play. Whoever wins this game will move on to play in the final match.
Can you imagine that? Hey, you guys are playing the first game, and you only have one half.
Then that final match is airing May 16th at noon Eastern time on CBS Sports Network. And now he's picking up paintballs.
Oh, there we go.
Gunter is now picking up paintballs off the ground.
Uh-oh.
Which in the Florida humidity is, did he get picked off? I think he just got bounced.
Oh, man.
Ooh, Gunter living on the edge there.
Trying his tree drilling gun right now.
Yeah. As far as environments to pick up paint off the ground, this is, other than a mud fest.
It's a nightmare.
The Florida humidity does not treat paintballs very nicely. So
awesome. We show up to the field and we get only one half to play.
Yeah, this is a very rare occurrence.
Yeah, I mean, very rare.
One-on-ones do occasionally happen, but 10-minute one-on-ones or 10-minute points, those never happen.
Gunter just marinating right there.
Yeah, so now Texas A&M player towards the D side.
We're at 1:10 coming up here. Left into half.
And Gunter has not moved from that spot. He did such a great job to get out here, get a couple kills to even this up and take it to a one-on-one. But he had to burn through all his paint to do that. Because even before we got to this position, it was 2-on-3. So he was, you know, just rolling through paint. to keep the pressure on the 3 players left alive for the Aggies. So he had to burn all his paint to do that, and now all of a sudden he's in this one-on-one.
Got to make sacrifices sometimes.
He's in the back, hiding, shaking his gun, picking up paintballs off the ground, hoping to God he gets one out of his barrel when the time comes. So I think what he's probably playing for, because he's low on paint, is he's probably playing for this tie, which I think is what we're going to see. Because now we're getting to the point where even if Strachan was able to shoot Gunter out, I don't think he's going to have enough time to grab that flag unless he did it right now. And Gunter's just, Gunter's doing this smart. He's just going to hide and wait. He doesn't have any ammo left.
Is he going to get froggy right now?
No, Gunter is just going to just chill in that bunker and wait for this time to expire. In under 10 minutes, it looks like Strachan's going to do the same thing. So if I was Strachan, I would have played this a little bit differently. I would have made my way, when he made that first move back to the 50, retreating a little bit, tactical retreat, and then I would have, as the time does expire. So what a crazy turn of events here. It's going to be 0-0 heading into the second half after the longest point that we've seen, the longest one-on-one that we've seen. But hey, I got to give hats off to Gunter, man. Taking it from that 2-on-3, shooting a couple guys, and then maintaining his composure as we see some of the replays of the only point here in the first half that didn't, and no point was scored. You see that initially the Aggies going on the offensive, and they were able to shoot 2 bodies quickly. Remember?
Real quick.
Yeah, so 2 bodies dropped early for Penn State, and then Texas A&M able to take advantage of that, and slowly but surely, you know, try to make it happen. It did it though. Score 0-0. We're going to throw 10 more minutes on the clock, and we'll be right back with some second half action here. 2015 semifinals. Stick with us.
Welcome back. We are in our first match for the semifinals, Penn State versus Texas A&M. We just played the first half, 1 point during that first half, and nobody got the point. The time expired. Now, I was talking to you on the sidelines. This is Mark Del Pozo, and you were telling me you guys have been in this situation before, and that's why Maddie was sitting back in that corner snake. Can you tell me what experience you've had with a similar play that we just saw?
Well, for our conference title game, we played Temple, and second half we were up 1 point, and it turned into about 6-minute 2-on-2, and then at the end it turned into a very long one-on-one with Matt again, just killing the clock, and at the end we were able to push it out and just win the point.
So that was a unique situation because both sides didn't have any paint, but initially the A&M player did have paint. So when you're on a one-on-one, you know you're losing paint and the other side has the paint. What's the best strategy for you? It didn't look like he was looking for paintballs, he was just sitting there.
Right now, just based on how the game's playing, it's better to just wait and not give them any free points. So we're just going to be waiting and let them make the mistakes, because we basically don't want to budge anything.
All right, well, that was a no point, so we're going into the second half, a 0-0 game. It's anyone's. Back to you guys.
Wow, that is such a rare occurrence to have a point that long, number one, or even have a one-on-one that goes longer than a couple minutes. So, but hey, but it looks like they've been in that situation before with the same time. Maddie Gunter was, again, not his first rodeo. So when he got in that spot, he's like, okay, look, I understand I've been here before. I'm out of paint. And so I'm just going to force this guy to make a move. And Strachan never really made that dynamic move, even though we did have a little bit more paint. So, but still, what a crazy turn of events. This game brought to you by BKI Paintball. In fact, if you want to learn how to properly play a one-on-one, definitely hit up Grayson Goff, world champion, who runs BKIPaintball.com. And
Mr. Oceans if you're nasty.
yeah, you know, so Grayson's basically running an online paintball academy, and as a couple other pros he works with, he does free casts, and also they do fitness as well regarding paintball. So whatever you need
is very key in,
to get better at the game.
world.
Yeah. So here we go. These teams are going to switch sides. So Penn State will be on your right. The Aggies are now on your left. And still at a dead tie, 0-0. Off the break, Penn State attacking that center all the way to the 58 right away.
Making something happen here.
And Texas A&M, the Aggies, they still have 2 players out in the open in the backfield, just rolling their guns.
Yeah, it looks like you got the Penn players shutting down the D side. Oh, getting clipped out of the center A. Yes, sir, that was you. Oh, the Aggies making a move of their own to center A, which gets eliminated as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting to think too, Todd, Catfish, as far as the plays are concerned. You know, I mean, they only got to run 1 play the whole first half. And so as far as strategy is concerned, it's almost like we're starting a new game right now.
Definitely. I mean, points got to be a lot more conservative now. I mean, you only got 1 half. You only got 2 halves now.
Yeah, you really need to be careful, not make mistakes. But Penn State not scared to push the action up in the center. Didn't really pay dividends for them as the Aggies in the driver's seat here. Penn State, couple bodies walking off. So
we got a 2-on-4 right now in favor of the Aggies. Aggies players not being able to stay alive in their bunkers.
Well, the Aggies are in good position. They have 3 players in the yellow zone. They're going to try to push up the field here as soon as, I mean, I think they should realize by now that it's 2-on-4. But just because it's 2-on-4, just because you have 2 extra players, the rookie move is to just get up and run down the field. The smart play is to utilize those extra bodies to exert pressure on the 2 players left alive, and then the guys that aren't getting shot at, those are the guys that need to make the moves.
Definitely, and it looks like the Aggie players are just trying to get those angles on these players, and the coach here on the sideline needs to joystick his snake player into the red zone here to open up those angles. There he goes. Bam, on cue. Look over, give him a back massage.
So Callan making his move here, 50-yard line on the red side. Smart play here by the Aggies. Slowly but surely using the advantage they have to make their way up the field, and now it's going to be up to Penn State again to try to win one of those low-body situations. As we saw there in the first half, they didn't win it, but still.
They kept them at bay. Oh. It looks like one of the last
and they might
2 lines coming off.
They might want to blow the horn right now.
Colin.
So the 1 player left alive for Penn State, looking at 4 bodies,
train.
And so he's going to get bunkered out. So if he had if they had blown the horn and conceded the point, I think that was Zach Johnson over there for Penn State.
Yeah.
So if they had blown the horn, they would conserve a little bit more time, and then now Zach Johnson would come off a little bit earlier and not have to wipe any paint off. So just when you know that things aren't going your way, if it's 4-on-1, if your guy's not in a good spot and he's going to get run down, you want to concede that point. Submit, and then
save
reset.
some time off the only half that you have left.
Yeah, and here was that move off the break. A very bold, aggressive move here to start the second half, and going all the way to the 50-yard line and controlling that D side. You can see there, locked in that gunfight. He ended up getting taken out of there, though. And then this was the last 2 players left alive for Penn. That was the last player on the snake side, which just left Zach Johnson here to get run down. So nice work by the Aggies. Going to go up 1-0 here with 7 minutes and 42 seconds to go.
In the second half, 1 point up on the board.
There's Brennan coming out to play the next point for Penn State. So the Nittany Lions, this is, you know, they not looking bad at all.
No.
But Texas A&M, just like yesterday, Texas A&M only with 6 players. Penn State has a much deeper roster. I think they have twice as many guys to work with.
Definitely a deeper pool right now in their pits.
Well, another good thing too, if you have a small roster with that situation that we saw in the first half, is that if you have a smaller roster and it's basically only, and it gets into that long one-on-one, it's just that one guy that's going to be tired.
Yeah,
everyone else just got a huge break.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, if you got 6 players, at least you get put the other player in. You got 1 tired player.
So Vengalar coming out, Morales, Hall, Wheat, Callan. See if they send Strachan back out as well.
Yeah, I think Strachan should be out there. I saw him walk out there.
So slight lead for the Aggies. Let's see if Penn State comes out aggressive again. And aggressive move on the D side, not holding them up, sending them into the yellow zone right away. They also send, Penn State sends a player to the bunker on the snake side of the field. 5 bodies alive for Penn State. Looks like 1 body drops for the Aggies.
Aggies not making a move into the D side. Looking for that crossfield shot.
So both teams have a player on the D side in the yellow zone. A little bit more help for Penn State over there. They have 2 bodies towards that side. One of them still in the blue zone with the stand-up can.
Oh, wow, and a flag goes up on Penn's side of the field.
Oh, that was, so Penn State blowing their advantage here. They lose a body on a penalty, and in addition to the guy that got shot, so it went from a 5-on-4 to a 3-on-3.
Yeah, and they're now into the snake.
So Aggies with 4. Again, a 1-body advantage for them. Penn State into the snake, though.
Yes, sir. This is the second knuckle of the snake. Looks like we got 2 Aggie players keyed up on him. Like I said, you know, the other day, you know, all you have to do is just be a thorn in there. Just jump in there, bury your head, and you get 2 guns turned on you. 3 now. I mean, what more do you want out of that player?
Well, and Penn State will get that player back from that minor penalty in 20 seconds. So, and that was a good move to get in the snake, because if you can get in the snake, that's going to slow the attack of the Aggies down, which will enable them to get their body out of that penalty box.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as of right now, the Aggies got 2 guns on the snake player. So he tying up 2 guns. Looks like the player's getting ready to run out of here and just make it. Oh, looks like he got chopped out coming out.
He got shot.
Oh man, Penn State going into the 53s.
Oh, but A&M loses 1 too.
The snake player looks like he's clean.
I believe it's 3-on-3. No, they lose the snake player.
Oh, is it a 3-on-1? Oh no, 3-on-2.
So Texas A&M had an advantage but threw it away. Penn State with an opportunity here.
Man.
Uh-oh, and that's going to be a major penalty on Brennan. So Brennan, not sure where he got shot, getting yelled at by the referee.
That's a point.
And the red flag being thrown. So that is probably going to take the last player off for Penn State, which should give the point to Texas A&M. They still have a body left alive, and he's just looking at all this chaos, counting the bodies, and then finally takes off with the flag and runs it in to preserve the time on that major penalty. Well, looks like, I was going to say, for a second we had a minor up, but it was a major. So most of that penalty still on the clock for Penn State.
Wow, Penn State on the verge of getting taken that point. Unfortunately, that penalty cost them that point.
Ooh, Texas A&M going to be going up 2-0. And let's check in with Lauren Kelly with an update on that penalty.
Thanks, Maddie. Yeah, I wanted to let you guys know that first minor penalty on Penn State was for a pack hit. That major penalty was for an obvious hit on his loader. The refs were letting him know he was hit for a good couple seconds, and he just kept shooting. So as you saw, that red flag was thrown, and they'll be starting this point with a body in the box. Back to you.
Well, sometimes that's a tough one. I believe that the Penn State player didn't feel that, or there's no way he would have kept rolling his gun in front of 3 referees, all the cameras.
Yeah, exactly. On the sideline.
Yeah, on the sidelines. I mean, that's the most conspicuous place you possibly could try to cheat. So I think he just felt that, or didn't feel it, and then kept playing. Got clipped on the hopper, but that's a big hit. So, you know, referee saw it, called him out, got that penalty, and we're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors.
They say paintball is 90% mental. The mental aspect of our sport goes far beyond game plans and visualization. Now more than ever, Empire provides an unmatched support system for you both on and off the field. Having this level of support allows you to focus on the things that you need to go out there and get the job done. The Empire All-In Sponsorship Program. Thousands of players, hundreds of teams, one family, one support system.
We are back again. This game brought to you by BKIPaintball.com. If you're trying to get better at the game, Grayson Goff, world champion from San Antonio X Factor, running an online academy there. And also, these 2 teams fighting to play in the final game, which will be airing May 16th, noon Eastern time on CBS Sports Network. So right now, the Aggies with an advantage. And off the break, Zach Johnson getting a real good start there and able to get into the yellow zone immediately, and the Aggies now pushing up there. The Aggies are going heavy guns off the break, Catfish.
Yes, they are, and they're standing in the open. 2 of their guys are just standing in the open, living behind their guns, and then making that counter move into the yellow zone. Oh, looks like the Aggies player in the Dorit side of the yellow zone might have taken something off the top of his head. Here comes the bearded ref.
Well, time's ticking off now, under 5 minutes to play. And still with 4 bodies, Penn State. No one got shot for them, so Texas A&M not able to take anybody out. And yeah, the referee checking out the player.
That was a thorough check there.
Well, there's 2 players over there on that D side. see there.
Yeah, we got 2 Aggies into the D zone.
So good position for the Aggies on that D side of the field.
Interesting, both these teams seem to be conceding the snake and going heavily into the D zone over there, Matt.
Well, there's a lot of big bunkers to work with over there. It's a safer place to run than the snake side. The snake side's a very tactical, difficult side to play. We haven't seen too many players master this side throughout the weekend, which when we walked out here and we first saw this field layout, with how long the snake is, I really thought that it was kind of deceiving because we thought that there'd be a lot more action on this side, but most of the action going towards the D side, but A&M losing a body on that side. So that may help things out here for Penn State, fighting through that major penalty, going to get their body back here in 24 seconds.
And we got the Aggies first into the snake, and the Nittany Lions are coming off wholesale right now.
Yeah, 2 bodies dying out of their bunkers. Zach Johnson shaking his head as he jogs off.
Is this, we got Callan in the snake here?
So Aggies trying to push up and get in position to shoot that box, that penalty box.
Callan looking for that shot right now.
Yeah, so Callan looking for the shot on the penalty box.
Callan gives up that shot.
I think he made it out clean.
Yes, he did.
So Callan not able to shoot the Penn State player coming out of the box, and then I think finally got clipped.
Dorito, the D zone got him.
Couldn't get small enough.
Well, it looks like, conceding the point here. Same time on the clock. Man, I mean, why wouldn't you want to run into open on the snake side, Matt? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, well, so Penn State, that was a back and forth point right there. Bodies had dropped for both teams. It looked like anyone could grab the initiative, but Penn State finally, when they lost both Zach Johnson and one of the other players out of their bunkers at the same time, that was pretty much it, because that allowed Callan to finally get up. You can see here on the replay, those are the Penn State bodies dropping, and you saw Zach come off first and the other player. And it looks like Penn State's going to call a timeout. They need it. They're down by 3. There's only 3 minutes remaining, and they have not put a point on the board yet. Texas A&M is playing tough.
Oh, yeah. Well, they need to. They only got 1/2.
Yeah, Texas A&M Aggies trying to make it into the finals here. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks, Maddie. As you saw, Penn State actually is going to be calling a timeout. But in the pit right now, they're discussing what is going wrong. And the main thing they're saying is that off the break, they're not shooting the middle. There's a A&M player who is ghosting that back middle center, and they are not putting any paint on him. So that's something that's going to be changing moving into the next few points. They are still confident they can bring this back, though. They say they've been in this situation before, and as long as they can get their head in the game and communicate, they still feel like they could possibly close out this point spread. It's going to be tough, but we'll see if they can do it.
Well, we saw some aggressive plays from them earlier, and so they definitely have some of those plays in their bag, but it's how effective are those plays going to be against the guns of Texas A&M? Because as they pointed out themselves, the big issue here is that they're not, you see Texas A&M is pretty much standing out in the open, off the break, trying to gun people down, and no pressure's being put back on those guys.
Yeah, and if you got to put pressure back in, you got to make them dip out quick.
Yeah, so we're going to see if Penn State can mount a comeback here on this timeout for Penn. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
This year, everything has changed. It's time for a new day of National Paintball. An industry-backed, team-supported, and promoter-ran circuit is here. We have successfully come together to celebrate the best in our sport. Show the world outside the netting how intense and amazing paintball is. It's time for you to have a voice. Join us at playnxl.com.
Just 50 seconds to go before the start of this next point. Can Penn State mount a comeback? Just 3 minutes and 6 seconds remain. Both teams will be at full strength and look for heavy guns from Texas A&M. They know Penn State has to push aggressive. They have no other choice. But the Aggies have just done a masterful job of controlling Penn State, particularly off the break and winning the close points, Catfish.
Yeah, winning those high body situations.
Because pretty much every single point we've seen here in the second half has been pretty close. We haven't seen
no
Texas
blowouts.
A&M blow out Penn State in any of these points. but you have to win the close points if you want to win these big games. Here in the semifinals, again, the finals will be airing May 16th, noon Eastern time on CBS Sports Network. So here we go. Can Penn State do it?
Penn heavy into the Doritos. Oh, look at that. Sand snake.
Zach Johnson all the way to D3 off the break. And it looks like he made it in there clean. And I think we might see a penalty here for Texas A&M. Ref's running with the red flag in his hand, and he pulls it. So this is Penn State's opportunity. Major penalty on the Aggies, and they lose 3 bodies early on here. Just 2 left alive for them.
Oh, man, they're coming off right now.
Yeah, another one gets shot out.
Just 1 left.
And this was
right behind the Doritos.
This was the quick point that Penn State needed. They just need to make sure they don't run into the last guns, and they lose a body, though. Getting a little greedy, trying to run downfield.
Here comes the pain train. Yep.
And they're screaming from the Penn State pits to run it in.
They need to conserve as much time they can on this penalty here.
So Gunter runs that flag in. So nice work by Penn State.
Catching a break, a much-needed break there, man.
Yeah, finally, the off-the-break shots. They did what they said they needed to do. They put pressure back on Texas A&M. The Aggies just standing in the back center again. So let's look at this breakout here. See, look at Texas A&M. They have a body standing in the open right back by the flag station. He keeps doing this, and the referee is running over there with the red flag in his hand. He pulls that penalty.
Pulls the other
and that's the risk you run when you are standing out in the open like that. It's a very risky play. You get a great lane to shoot at, but it's a treacherous move sometimes.
Looks like Hall was the last lone soldier back there.
So there was Gunter sprinting the flag in. Yeah. So Maddie Gunter hanging that flag up. So let's check in with Lauren. I think she has info about that penalty.
Yeah, Maddie, that penalty was a major hit, as you saw, for the A&M player. He was hit in the leg, and the major was for playing on, which is a huge bummer because now they just gave Penn State the advantage to come back. So they will still be starting with a body in the box, and that major was for playing on. Back to you.
Yeah, so 1 minute and 30 seconds left on that major still, which is the majority of regulation time.
Yes,
and
it is.
We will see here if they can come back.
Looking like Penn going to strategize over here, try to take advantage as much as they can on this penalty. Look at the Aggies talking it over, what they need to do.
Let's go.
I don't think they'll be ghosting the player at this point here, Matt.
No, I don't think they will. Maybe they will. I mean, it kept working.
Yeah, it did.
You know, if he had just come off when he got hit,
Ride the lightning, you're going to get zapped, my friend. You're bound to get zapped eventually.
All right, so with the timeout called, we're going to take a quick timeout as well. 3-1's the score. We'll be right back.
Get back in your bunker. Shoot the
All right, so let's check in with Lauren real quick here again in the pits before we get started. Could be the last point. We'll see.
Thanks, Maddie. During that timeout that A&M called, Penn State was getting pumped. They really feel confident that they can make a comeback here, saying that they think A&M is running scared. So we're probably going to see some fast, aggressive points from Penn State. We'll see if they can tie it up with this penalty still on the board. Back to you.
Tense moments here. 2:18 on the clock. Penn State up a body. They have to score 2 to tie it up. Texas A&M has done such an amazing job with their gunfighting ability, shooting players off the break to get to this point.
2 to tie, 3 to advance.
Yeah, so it's gonna be it's gonna be tough for Penn State. Even with the body advantage, they still have to push aggressive into Texas's guns, and Texas will get that body back before the closing seconds of this game.
Here we go. Looks like Penn player coming into the D zone again aggressively, and the Aggies losing a player off the break.
So that's gonna help speed things up here for Penn State. Now they're just looking at 3. Nobody's dropping for Penn yet.
Oh, another Aggie coming off. It's like a 2-on-5 now.
Yeah, Penn State, though, not a lot of time. They have to score 2 here just to tie it up. They got to kind of get things rolling. Zach Johnson launches down the D side. Got another player with him over there.
Oh, a 1-on-5. They need to go now. Oh,
yeah,
sloppy moves, sloppy moves. So can't be just throwing bodies away like that.
The last player left alive for the Aggies was just rolling his gun out there instead of just hiding and forcing the Penn State to come and run him down.
Oh, man.
So a little bit of a, I understand he's the last player left alive. Nothing he really could do against all those bodies, but still, you have to maintain your composure and be thinking constantly. Even if you took 10 seconds off,
it's 10
from the amount of, even if you just hid, just literally hid in there and waited for Johnson to run him down, that would have taken more time off the clock. Let's check out this replay here. So you're looking at Aggies on your screen.
Oh.
And things just not going well for them. There was that last body who got shot cross field in a gunfight. Couldn't see it there on the replay, but, and then here comes the point hang.
Who's that?
I think that's Gunter again.
Gunter again, running in all these points. Here we go. All of a sudden, 1 point to tie, 2 points to win.
Yeah, so this was the close game we thought we were going to see, though, Catfish.
It was.
For a second, I thought Texas A&M was going to start running away with it, but
can't count out
Penn State. Yeah, Nittany Lions, definitely still some fight in them for sure.
You hear them in the pitch right now, barking at each other.
Guys, make sure you're all wiped down and ready to go. Let's go.
Man, 40, what we got still? 40 seconds on the penalty. 1:28 left in the game. And the Aggies' cushion is disappearing here.
Just a 1 point difference, and still 40 seconds left on that major penalty. So a couple mistakes here with the Aggies. Too many deaths out of their bunkers in that last point, but really when the momentum really shifted was that major penalty on Texas A&M. About 10 seconds to go. Penn State with their fast lineup. Look for Johnson again to make a big move on that D side. So they have to risk bodies. They do not have enough time.
No choice at this point.
On the breakout, Johnson again.
Into D.
And he goes into D1, so holds up a little bit, though. Still makes it in clean. A body drops for Penn State.
Body
Here comes Johnson.
For the Aggies, too.
And a body drops for the Aggies. So now it's 3 on 4.
Two bodies out for the Aggies now.
Johnson still alive with a player on the D side.
Got a 4-on-2 in favors of Penn. Looks like we're going to have 15 seconds left on that penalty. Man, the line's in comfortable position there in the D zone.
Well, now we're under a minute, and Texas A&M gets their body back. Can he stay alive, or does he come right out into the guns?
No, it just chopped up right out into the guns like you called it.
But Penn State loses a body too. So Texas A&M with 2 bodies alive, and it looks like Penn State still has 3.
Got a 3-on-2, 30 seconds left.
Penn State, the pit is going crazy right now, yelling at their boys, hey, we shot everybody, go and hang that flag. And I think it was Zach Johnson doing the work on the D side. And he was one of the best players on the team last year, and stepping up here is getting checked out by the referee to hang it up, tie this game up.
Oh, man. Are we going to see overtime? Will we see overtime?
We're definitely seeing it. We're for sure seeing it overtime. There's no way a point's going to be scored in 16 seconds.
Hey, crazier things have happened.
Great, you're right. Like a 10-minute one-on-one in the first half. But you're right. Is it possible? Yeah. Probable? No, it's not probable. We're most likely going to see an overtime period here.
Let's shake that magic 8 ball. All signs point to no.
Yeah. So if it should go to overtime, which it most likely will, what's going to happen is it's basically PSP rules, and that means that there's going to be a 3-minute overtime period. And if no winner is decided in the 3 minutes, just like in the PSP, then it goes to a one-on-one situation. So yeah, I mean, the quickest point in college paintball is 9 seconds, but those are so rare. You know, it's a very rare occurrence. And what's going to have to happen for that to happen is many guys are going to have to get you off the break. Essentially, you're going to have, you know, either Texas lose 3 or 4 bodies right away, like just look out into paintballs,
yeah.
or the flip side, same thing for Penn State. But you know, if I was these teams, knowing what's at stake here, the winner of this game advances to play in the final matchup, which again is going to be airing May 16th, noon Eastern time on CBS Sports Network. Knowing what's at stake, we're probably going to see a conservative breakout for both teams, and unless lots of bodies drop, then we're going to be heading into that overtime period.
Can we have 2 rare occasions happen in one match?
It's paintball. Anything can happen.
Any given Sunday? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
So, players getting set here for this last point of the regulation time. Just 16 seconds remains.
So do you think it'll just be conservative, or do you think there's going to be just a train wreck in the red zone?
No, I don't. There's definitely not going to be a train wreck in the red zone. There's too much at stake.
Come on,
It'd be fun. It would be fun to see.
Come on, train wreck.
So off the break, Penn State does send another body out to D1, and I think he just got clipped. And they lose another one too. So now 2 bodies come off quickly for Penn State, and Aggies haven't lost anybody. They
Down
do
to 3 seconds.
They keep that body way in the back in that open area
Ghosting again.
But that's going to do it. Yeah. So not enough time, not enough bodies came off early enough.
They need to do something about that player that's just standing out there ghosting like that. They know that's what's happening, but yet they don't put paint on them.
Well, it's been very effective for Texas A&M. So you know the Aggies. Will they do that in the overtime period is the question.
If it's been working, if it ain't broke, why fix it?
All right, so we're going to reset, put 3 minutes on the board here, head into the overtime point. Stick with us. We'll be right back with more of this semifinal action here, 2015 National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. Stick with us.
Guys, you got 30 seconds. Let's go. Hey, let's go.
So welcome back here, heading into the 3-minute overtime period between Texas A&M Aggies and the Penn State Nittany Lions. About 20 seconds to go, and it looks like there was a penalty assessed on Penn State there.
Yes, it was. It looks like one of the players had removed his mask before exiting the field.
It looks like a penalty was thrown at first, but then they're going to take it back. So I guess the referee decided to give Penn State a break. And, you know, I always hate seeing little penalties like that affect, you know.
Point was over. Everyone's off the field.
Yeah, point was over. The issue was decided. Let's let the guys decide it on the field.
There you go.
So Texas A&M right now letting Penn State back in this game. Came down to that major penalty about midway through the second half. But Penn State, man, love the fight in these guys.
What a game, what a game.
All right, so here we go. Into the overtime period.
We got 2 lines coming off, turning it into a 5-on-3 off the break here. Look for the Aggies to capitalize on this. Aggies straight into the D zone, making his way into the red Dorito on the D zone, filtering more players through that D zone. Oh, Lions coming off.
Yeah. Nittany Lions losing too early here, so it is 2-on-5 in favor of Texas A&M. Texas A&M loses Callan, but Penn State loses another body, so it's not looking good for them. And I think that Texas A&M will be advancing to the finals.
There it goes, the Aggies.
Strachan and Callan and the rest of the boys from Texas A&M handling business here in the overtime period. Hall grabbing that flag.
Gonna walk that bad boy in.
And what a great job by the skeleton crew that Texas A&M brought to this tournament. Only 6 players on their roster.
I'll tell you, those guys had grit right there.
Yeah, very
They
gritty.
knew exactly what needed to happen there.
Very gritty, very scrappy performance.
They played tight, got to their bunkers, made their shot, make their shots count, played tight.
So all the people from Texas going to be celebrating right now, knowing that come May 16th, noon Eastern time on CBS Sports Network, they will be watching the Texas A&M Aggies play the winner of the FAU Owls UCF Knights game.
What a game right now.
For the college championships. Yeah, so you can see just a bad break for Penn State. They lose their body. You know, they've been risking those bodies, Catfish, time and time again on this comeback, and you see the pumped guys from Texas A&M. But yeah, so Penn State had been risking those bodies, and finally, it came back to bite them because Texas A&M finally got those off the break shots dialed in again.
Definitely. They had that ghost guy out there shooting, just locking down those lanes and just didn't let them filter out. Balled them up in the middle and just start chopping them up.
Wow, what an amazing performance. They did a break, bend don't break.
No, dude, you got to give it to Penn, man. They came back from a 3-0
Absolutely. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly before we head to our next semifinal matchup.
Thanks, Maddie. I am here with Brady Callan. Congratulations. That was an insane first match here in semis where you guys went into overtime. How were you feeling going into that last point?
We were pretty confident. We just knew we had to keep our same composure, play our game, stay alive mainly. We knew if we stayed alive, we could win gunfights and we could pull it out.
Well, you did pull it out. You guys had a 3-point lead, and you got that major penalty, which allowed Penn State to come back. What mistakes do you think you were making? Obviously, you were down a body, but to let them get 3 consecutive points in 3 minutes is a lot.
It was a lot. I mean, some of it was just dying out of our bunkers. Feel like we were getting a little aggressive because we did go up 3. And then we just kind of, I guess, maybe a little too confident. I don't know. But we ended up pulling it out. Just after that major, just kind of ended up keeping composure again. We came in, we talked to our coach, and he kept us on the right track.
Absolutely. Going into the finals, which is huge for you guys, coming into the first X-Ball event you've played here at Nationals, what are some things you think you really need to focus on to make sure that something as close as this doesn't happen again?
Mainly just stay alive, stay in our bunkers, play a lot tighter. I know a couple of us got shot just playing a little loose, and shoot those lanes. We've been doing good all weekend shooting lanes, so as long as we keep that up, I think we'll be okay.
All right, well, congratulations. They are going to go to the finals. Next up, we'll have UCF versus FAU. Florida teams battling it out. We'll see who will join them. Stay tuned. Thank you.
This year, everything has changed. It's time for a new day of national paintball. An industry-backed, team-supported, and promoter-ran circuit is here. We have successfully come together to celebrate the best in our sport. Show the world outside the netting how intense and amazing paintball is. It's time for you to have a voice. Join us at playnxl.com.